So again, here's where we are at. If you would like to play along, you can go to flipgrid.com to join in. So I'm going to into my Flipgrid here, and I'm going to show you how to actually sign in. So I'm going to log out real quick and sign in. So when you first go to flipgrid.com, here is where you are going to start. So you're going to choose an educator login to start with. We recommend using your Google account because everybody in APS has a Google account. Your @aps.edu account is your Google account. Because we are a Google for Education set up, our accounts are set up for under the Google for Education suite. It does not necessarily have to end in Google. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose Google login. You would choose your APS account. If you're a non-APS person joining us, it's still, you can choose however you would like to log in, but definitely you want to log in with an APS account. So since I'm logged in with Google Chrome, we have found also, sorry, on a side note, that Flipgrid works best right now in Google Chrome. If you're running it through a browser, you can run Google Chrome through an iPad, through a smartphone, so you can download the app for Android and iPhones. You can also run it through a Chromebook. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my APS login to create my account. Since I already have an account, it's going to populate for me. So I'm going to give everybody just a second if you're joining to actually create an account. We have a few folks who are just now joining us. So if you've just now joined us, that's okay. We've got a few people switching over from rooms. We've just started, so I'm going to do a quick review real quick. Let me get back to my chat window here. Okay, so if you're just now joining us, please make sure your microphone is off. Okay, if you want to turn your camera off, you're welcome to turn your camera off. Up here is our chat box. This is where we will take all questions and comments. So please notice that we have Leticia and Brian answering questions, as well as Tina, and then Tina will be popping back in with us. So please pause and answer questions and ask questions there. Down here on the bottom right, if you'd like to run closed captioning, you are welcome to turn that on and you can close caption with us. These three dots here is where you will go if you want to change the layout of your Meet. So if you want to change the view of how you're seeing folks, or if you want to run our Meet full screen. If you're going to play along with us this morning, I would not recommend running it full screen. We are recording this Meet, and we will have all of these recordings up hopefully by Monday. Flipgrid is 100% free, so this is an absolutely amazing resource to virtually connect and see faces with kiddos. So we're going to walk you through that process now. So here we go. So what we did is we started with
Hey, Jenny.
Yes.
Can you show one more time? I know it's kind of crazy just because a bunch of people jumped in. Can you show how to get in one more time?
Absolutely. So I'm going to just pop open a new tab here. And I'm going to go to, let me log out of my other account here. So I'm going to open up my new tab and I'm going to go to flipgrid.com. Okay, this is what you're going to see the very first time you go to Flipgrid. Most of your students will start here with enter a flip code. Okay, for you as an educator, you're going to go over here to educator sign up. So when you choose educator sign up, you need to either sign up with Google or sign up with Microsoft. So if you're in Albuquerque Public Schools, you have a Google account. If you are part of Rio Rancho, you have a Google account. If you are not sure if your school has a Google account, please let folks know. Brian and Leticia will add our contact information in the chat. We can be reached at edtech@aps.edu if you run into questions. So if you have a Microsoft, if your school uses Microsoft, or if you use Google, you're going to go ahead and choose sign up with Google. If you're APS, your APS account is a Google account. Since I'm in Google Chrome, my account is already there because I've signed in up here. I'm going to choose my APS account. Mine is logging me in because I currently already have an account. Yours will take you through a few questions to log you in and get your account up and running. So I'm going to pause for a couple seconds. So if you're playing along, you have a minute to go ahead and create an account. Once you're signed in, it's going to start and have you want to make an account or a grid from the very beginning. So if you want to just cancel out of that, we'll make it a grid in just a minute. But I want to go over some of the features first, and then we'll show you where to go from there. So you can see here, the first tab is called My Activity. So this is kind of my dashboard, kind of tells me what's going on, tell me what I've done, what I've been doing. You may or may not have stuff going on here. You can see my stats. I've been doing Flipgrid for a while. This right here on the top where it says My Grids, this is the heart of where you're going to be building and using Flipgrid, okay? Flipgrid is 100% free. This is the best way to share videos and kind of connect with our students. You can also model activities. You could read books. Sky's the limit on what you can do and what you can share with Flipgrid. This is one place where you can start with it. So currently, if I scroll down here, you can see all the different boards that I have made. Some of my boards are public, some of them are private. Flipgrid has private or has public as you want it to be. For our purposes, we're connecting our kids from home, so you're not going to want to post codes, post stuff out into the public just so you can keep your kids protected. To get started, you're going to come over here to this plus and you're going to choose Add a New Grid. When I choose Add a New Grid, this is how you're going to start. So some keywords to focus on today is a grid houses all of your videos. Within your grid, you have topics. So a grid is almost like the house and the container of all the topics where your videos are going to live. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to name your grid. So do I need to pause? Okay, so I'm going to name my grid remote.
Yes. Go.
Okay, so from that, so notice you have up to 45 characters. For my students, I would have maybe possibly named it Minakuchi. Okay, I can call this EdTech. I'm going to call ours EdTech Remote Learning, just so I can show you an example. From there, you have some options of how you want students to join your grid. Okay, if they join with a school email, that means that they would use their Google account or their Microsoft account. For Albuquerque Public Schools, and I think Rio Rancho as well, has Moriarty, a couple other schools, our students have email, but it's not necessarily turned on. For Albuquerque Public Schools, the email is their 9-digit student ID at aps.edu. You can go down here and just use the student ID if your students don't actually have a APS ID to log into, okay? The bottom one is the public and PLC one. This is the one I typically use because it's easier for folks to log in and get going. Even though it says public and PLCs, you still can make it private and unlisted so that you control who is a part of your grid. With this one as well, it's easier for our preschool and our kinders to get into that and be a part of it. So, sorry, I just got a message that okay, sorry, I'm going. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the public PLC. Down here on the bottom, because I signed up as an educator, my Flipgrid is going to have a personalization. So it's going to have Minicucci attached to it every time. I can also change the back end of this code so that way I can personalize it. So if I want this to be my grid for my 2020 classroom, I can personalize that. I've already used that, obviously, so it's not going to be available. So I may change this, and I may just change my login to EdTech 2020. Still, it's not available. So I'm going to try APS EdTech 2020. Okay, so that code is available. This code is what you will give to families to join your grid. You also have the option of just giving codes for topics, and I will cover that in just a second. So once I have that set up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose next. If it will load, we're on kind of a delay here. Oh, I have to select my grid. Sorry, that's why it won't go. So I'm going to choose the public PLC one, and then I choose next. Here's where I was talking about you have an option to protect your grid. So even though it is a public PLC one, I have an option to add a password. So nobody can get into my grid unless I add a password, or unless they have this password. So you can add in an additional password, or you can just leave it blank. So for this one, I'm not going to add a password because I could be working with preschool, and that's just going to add another step to them. So once I have that set up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose next. And now it's going to tell me, yay, my grid is ready. So you notice down here, I can embed a code, this code into documents. I can share it with my Microsoft Teams. I can share this Flipgrid code with my Google Classroom. If my students are using Remind, I can add it to Remind. I can also just copy this code, and if I have students set up and using Seesaw, I can choose copy, and I can share this code with them in Seesaw under the link section. So there's multiple ways of being able to share your grid. You can also copy this link and send it out through ClassDojo or any other means, as well as in an email.
So Janae, let's say you made your grid and you just kind of went through really quick. Is there a way to go back and change it where it's going to be student IDs or codes or anything like that? Or once you make it, you have to restart over?
No, so once you've made that grid, you can't change the way they enter it. You can add in a guest topic, which I can show you in just a second. But once that grid is made with the way you initially started it, so if you started with IDs, if you started with Google login or public, you have to keep it with that. You can delete the grid and start over. So there's no harm in that. You have an unlimited amount of grids that you can create. So if you were just playing along and you didn't like the way you did that, you can start over. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Go to Grid. So here I am with my grid. If you notice now, I have some buttons over here that allow for me to do stuff. When we first started on that login page where I said the flip code, where students would enter their code, here's that code. This code allows for my students to access the entire grid. Down here, you can see Flipgrid is awesome. They always give you a first topic. So here's the very first topic that I have been sent. Over here, I can add a Copilot. So if I want a Flipgrid for my grade level, if I am team teaching with somebody, if I'd like my educational assistant to be a part of our Flipgrid so they can say hi to the kids, I can choose Add a Copilot. So when I come over here and I add a Copilot, I'm going to invite Tina. I'm going to invite her. So you need to know their email address. I'm going to invite Leticia to my grid. And then I'm going to invite Brian Stewart. Brian, I think I may have gotten your email wrong. I can't remember. Nope. I think it's _B. Sorry, on the fly.
_BR, you found it.
I got it. Okay, so Brian's been invited as well. So they're going to receive an email saying that they've been invited to my Flipgrid, and once they join, then they will be able to add and create grids just like I am. Okay, from that, up here at the top, this little rocket, your rocket becomes your best friend. It allows for you to be able to find your flip code again, as well as you have the option of a QR code. So you can send your QR code to make it easier for people to join your grid. Over here, this next button is called Actions, allows for you to do some other things. So I can duplicate my grid. If I really like this grid and I wanted to keep it, I could duplicate it. I can export some data. I can delete the grid, and then I can also edit my grid. Along with this pencil here, I can go in and I can edit my grid. So when I choose edit my grid, oh, you can. They just added this. You can change your grid type. I apologize. Scratch what I said earlier. You can come in here and you can change your grid type. You can also at any time add in a password. So this has been updated.
Can you show how to get there one more time then?
Absolutely. So I go back to my grids. I'm going to be here in my EdTech remote learning. At the top of my grid, I'm going to come up here where the pencil is, and I'm going to choose the edit to edit my grid. So here I am editing my grid. So if I didn't like my title, I could change my title. I can change how I want students to come into my grid, and I can always add a password in. Okay? This is important too. Down here, notifications. Okay? You're going to end up getting emails every time somebody is a part of your grid and they send something. So I would watch this. So you can either have notifications never or weekly or every new video. You will lose your mind if you get an email every time somebody submits a video. So maybe or if you want that, you can. So here's where you can decide how you want to receive email notifications of who's a part of your grid and who's not a part of your grid. Grid followers. If our students did have emails, they could get a notification that a video was added or somebody talked to their video as well. Down here, download and share. So you can allow your students to download and share their videos. So if they like the video they did and they want to save it, they have the option to download it, but they cannot, they can download anything that is on there. Okay, you can also generate captions, so they can display the captions that they're adding, and then you can change the language of your captions as well. So right now it's just set, it's defaulting because we have we are in the United States. For others who sign in other countries, theirs is going to change. Down here, it automatically chooses a feature photo for you. You can come in here and you can change your feature photo. So they give you these different options down here of feature photos. So if I wanted to change ours to this cool looking sea turtle, I can upload that and change that. You can also drop and drag your own photo. So if you have like a class logo, if you have something that, if you guys all made a class image, you can drop and drag your own images to personalize your board. So if I wanted to change ours to that sea turtle, I could, or if I wanted to go to people, or if I wanted some kind of textures. So if I jumped back here and I wanted a mic, because we're talking about student voice, I can change that and update my grid. So now this is what the students would see and recognize that that's my topic for my grid. Okay. Down here, we have created a topic. So I'm going to actually jump to the board, the grid that I made for our training, and I'm going to go to our remote learning one. So if you notice here, I have some other topics in place. So I am going to have, if you would like to join and play along, you can be a part of our grid. The code is Remote Jam. If you'd like to do that, you can jump in and play with us. So the first one here, I'm going to open up our topic that says hello. Here is where you can see that it's a little bit different. So notice each, I'm going to jump back here to my remote learning. Each one of my topics has its own code. So if you want to just give students one code to a specific topic, they don't necessarily have to join your entire grid. So if I just wanted everybody to say hello, or if I was in a class, if I'm teaching a class, so say I was a teacher who maybe was teaching music, or I was art, or I was the counselor, and I had every student in the entire school, you could make topics just for specific grade levels. If you're a special ed teacher and you wanted to differentiate, you can have topics just for specific content and just share that code for that specific topic. So notice the little rockets here. When I click on the rocket, each one has its own unique code. With that, I can turn on what is called guest mode. So when I click this and turn on guest mode, it generates a new code. This is key. In guest mode, that doesn't require for a login to be there. So I recommend turning on guest mode for maybe our preschool, our K1s, who may or may not be as fluent, or parents are not sure how to get them into the board. So if you turn on guest mode, this is the code you're going to want to send. So you can send this code, or you can share the QR code. With every code that Flipgrid generates, you have a login here, a link with the code, or you have a QR code to go with it. Okay.
Can you do that again? Because you froze on my end, but I don't know if you froze on someone else's end to talk about the guest mode.
Absolutely. Okay. So notice here I have my 3 topics. Okay. This first grid here, I'm typically going to have kids say hello, and that's how we're going to get them started. So when I come over here to this pencil, or I'm sorry, when I come to this share, this was turned off, topic guest mode. So to make it easier for guests and families to be a part of this, I'm going to turn this on. So now I have a guest mode code. This allows for my students to be able to just join my grid without having to sign in using Microsoft or a Google account. This is a lot easier for our young ones, our preschool and our kinders, and this allows for them to easily access my grid. So I always keep this box checked, because if my kinders come in, I want them to be able to record a video as well. So again, you're going to just turn on the guest mode topic, and you're going to create a new link for that. And so this is the code and link you would want to share if you want them to be able to join your grid without having to sign in. All right.
Can you do that for the entire grid, or is it for each topic?
Let me go back here. I think it's only for each topic. You can't, they didn't do the grid because they want you to be able to follow, have control over your entire grid. So they want it just controlled by topics.
And can you tell everyone how to get into your remote jam grid to play along?
Yes. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so to play along, if you go back to, let me see if I can get here back on flipgrid.com. So you're going to be back at flipgrid.com, and here is where you're going to enter the code. And when I go back to my grid, this is the code you're going to enter. Oops, sorry. My code just went away. Hold on. You're going to enter remote jam. That's the code you would enter to play along, to get you into our grid. So let me give people a minute to join in. Okay, then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you, go ahead.
Janae, just sorry to interrupt. So a couple of questions is, how many co-pilots can you have? Can you invite?
Leticia, I can't hear you.
How many? They're asking how many co-pilots can you invite?
I don't think they have a limit on co-pilots. I have had up to 10.
It's 15. I just looked it up.
It's 15?
15 co-pilots and 250 responders.
Perfect. So again, you can have up to 15 co-pilots and you can have 250 responses on your grid. Okay, another question, Letty?
I think we just got it answered. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. Can you show your code one more time?
Absolutely.
I keep putting it in the chat, but it is remote jam. But
it's remote jam. So if I come right here, it's remote jam. Okay.
If you're in here and you created it, how do you get out? I think that might be part of the problem. How do you get out to be able to sign into a grid?
So you'll need to go to the top right and you'll need to choose log out if you want to play along, or just pop open a new tab and go to flipgrid.com. Okay. Before I have you guys, what? Before I have you guys play along and say hello. Sorry, somebody was saying something.
I'm looking. Hold on.
Okay, so before I have you guys play along and say something, I'm going to show you what and how to create a topic. So when I choose add a topic here, so notice I have say hello, I added in a math topic, and then it's kind of fun if you're connecting with your kids that you maybe do a joke of the day. Might be a lot of fun. So I'm going to add a new topic to get me started. So for this one, I'm going to add a topic of English. Okay? So, or language arts, because maybe I'm teaching about language arts. Or I could call it a read aloud. So with every board, you're going to be able to title your topic with every grid. And then you have the option of recording time over here. This is pretty amazing. Flipgrid just literally 2 days ago upped their time limit. So you can allow students to record a 15-second video all the way up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a lot to watch, but if they need to give you that kind of a response, know that you have that option. You also can create topics and deliver instruction and change your board so that your students can't respond back, that all they can do is just give you, just come in and watch your video. So for this one, if I'm working with language arts and say I'm going to be doing a read aloud, I want to choose my full 10 minutes. If I come over here, because this is a great way to also maybe do a book study, maybe dive deep into some passages. There's a lot of ways that you can use this. So on my prompt, I have 500 characters, and I'm going to start here. Please listen to, FYI, I'm not the best speller under pressure.
Janae, can you hold on one sec? I think people were trying to get in to create their own grid and missed how you got to creating a topic.
Perfect. Okay. Let me go back to my grid here, and I am on our remote jam one here. So we are back here at the very beginning of our grid. Down here on the left where it says add a topic, this is how we're going to make our topics. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to choose add a topic. And then it takes me to my area of where I can create a topic. So I'm going to give this topic a title. And I choose language arts. Your recording time. So in the recording time, this is what allows for how long your videos can be. So if you're the one delivering the video, you can have up from 15 seconds up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a long time. This is new. Flipgrid just added in the 10-minute mark, okay? So if I choose 10 minutes because I'm going to be reading a story to my students, or we're doing a novel study, really sky's the limit on how you want to use Flipgrid. It's pretty powerful that our students are able to see each other as well. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to start with the prompt. So with your prompt, you have up to 500 characters that you can use. So I'm going to start here. Please listen. Story I have read to you. Once you are done, I like to hear your thoughts. Okay, so you can give them some kind of prompt. You can also come in here afterwards and you can right click and you can add in an emoji. So if I wanted to add a microphone in there, or if I wanted to add a book, so if I wanted to add the microphone in, I can add a mic. Please give me your feedback. Okay, so you can type in whatever you'd like in here. Down here, for add a media resource to engage your students. Right here, you can record a video. So in just a second, I'll show you what that means for adding in a recorded video. You can upload a video you've already made. You could link them to a YouTube video. You can upload an image, or you can add a GIF. You can add an emoji. You can also come down here and you can link them to all of these additional resources. So if I had a Nearpod that I wanted them to work with and I wanted to give some directions on a self-paced Nearpod, I could link them to that. If I'd been building some resources in Wakelet, I can link them to a Wakelet resource. If I was working in Kahoot, I could also link them to that. If I had some Google resources, I could link them to Google. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a gift and I'm going to add reading. So I'm going to add this cute little cat over here reading. I'm going to select that guy, and that's my media focus. If I, so when I create my topic, come over here and I choose create. We'll see how fast Wi-Fi goes. It's going to generate a new code. Again, same thing applies. You can copy this code. You can share the QR code. You can link it to all of these resources. And then I'm going to say all set. So the cool thing is now I can, once this topic is created, I can add a guest topic in. So if I want, here's the code that they can use just to get into my topic, or I can add a guest topic. When I choose add a guest topic, I'm going to turn that on, and now I have a new code so that my students can join my board either through the student code or through a guest topic. Now when I go back to my remote learning grid, you can see I have language arts, and this is a little focus video I was talking about. I have joke of the day, I have math, and I have say hello. All right, so that's awesome. Now, what does it look like from the student's view? I'm going to show you now. So if you are part of my grid and you're in Remote Jam, let's play along and let's go to this Say Hello to Flipgrid. So I'm going to choose View. And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to tell me what my grid is. It's going to tell me what I'm supposed to do. And then here's the green plus to get us started.
Hey, Janae, can you go back up where it says the topics to show how to get into that specific topic right there? Say hello on Flipgrid in the drop down.
Yes. So if you don't see that topic right here, notice I have 4 topics. I can click that little arrow and I can choose which one. So I can be the one that says say hello. So I'm going to choose that topic and it's going to take me here. For my students who might be struggling to read, I have this Immersive Reader here. So when I click on the Immersive Reader, it pops open a new screen and it'll read to me when I click play.
Welcome to Flipgrid. Tap the green plus below to open the Flipgrid camera. Then, record a short video and, waving hands, say hello. Starstruck, share a fun fact about being home. Microphone, share your favorite song you have been listening to.
Okay, so it's going to read that for my students if they need that, and then I can go back to my board and find which one it is. I'm going to go back here, and I can actually record my video. So I'm going to click on my green plus, and since I have it log in with Google, I'm going to go ahead and log in with Google. I'm going to choose my name. And here I am. So here's my video. You all can see who I am. This is what our students will see. You have an option over here to show the topic. So I can pull this open and I can move it over so that my students can see if they forget what I'm asking them to do. I also have a sticky note option here that I can type in if I wanted to make some notes to be able to respond back. If I wanted to say, so I could forget if I forgot my prompt or if I wanted to have some writing here before I recorded, so I can have that. I can also just close it and move it out. Notice up here I have a 2-minute limit to say hello. Some of us are panicked about us showing our faces, but I wouldn't do anything that I wouldn't ask my students to do. You also have these cool filters. So if I come here, I can change my filter background. Here's where our kids get excited, so don't be afraid if this comes through. If you have students who still can't show their face, you have this pixelated option. So if I wanted to pixelate myself, I can to record my video, or if you want to go back to yourself being here. You have an option to add in text. So if I choose the text option, I can type. I have an option to add in emojis. So if I wanted to add in this emoji while I'm recording, I can have this cool emoji sitting here with me. Okay, if I don't like him, I can clear it out. I have an option to draw. So if I am working with a student and I want them to solve a math problem, I could be talking about math while I'm recording my video. Okay, so you have this that you can add in as well. So then to record, all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little camera here, and I have my directions here. So I'm going to click my camera. It's going to count me in. Hello, everybody. My name is Janae Minicucci. I have been working frantically on creating webinars for everybody to be a part of. My favorite song I've been listening to right now is by John Bellion. It's called Beautiful Now. So I can't wait to hear the videos and see you all in person. I'm so excited. Then I'm going to stop my video. When I click next, hello everybody, I can watch my video again. This is a cool fact. I'm going to take this little thing away so you can see here. This is pretty awesome. So if I liked my beginning piece, and I can keep it, but I can also add more. So if I didn't use my full video time, I can stop my video and I can add more. So if I choose add more, I can come back in here and I can add some more. So maybe I wanted a whiteboard and I want to paint my whiteboard and I want to come in here and draw. So I want to write on my whiteboard. So I'm going to record while I'm on my whiteboard. So I'm going to add this into my video. So if you needed to show some facts, maybe you were working on some words. So here's the word cat. And I want you to mark up this word. Here's my brev. I'm going to scoop it. Okay. So I'm recording this while I'm adding that in. Then I can say next. And I've added that piece in. My name is Janae Minicucci. Okay, so notice here is populating my whiteboard and when I've added in. So you have up to 10 minutes, so you can record bits and pieces of your board and keep adding to it. Once I'm happy with my recording, I'm going to choose next. And then this is the best part. This is what everybody loves and our kiddos love. You want to be able to take a selfie. So bear with me. I've taken my selfie. If I like my selfie, it's great. Then I can add some cool features to it just to have a little fun and change up the remote learning. I'm going to add in some cool glasses here. Okay, I want to add some glasses in. And then maybe I want to add in a message to my kids. I'm going to say, miss you. And I can put it up here. And then I'm going to say next. And now it's uploading my video to the board. It's going to have a display name. This is key. Have your kids and students put their real name in there, because this way you know who it actually is. If they pixelated it, that way you have an idea of whose video it is. You can add in a little title here, or you can add in a little message, and then you can link. So say you wanted to link them to a Google Doc that had the questions that you wanted them to answer after you've done some writing or after they've read the book. And then you hit submit video, and now it's going to tell me, congratulations, my video's been posted. So when I go out of here, I'm going to say complete. And now I've joined the board. So now you can see Tina and I have made a video and we've added to our board. These populate instantaneously and they'll start to come. So I'm going to give you guys a second if you want to create a video and join in. Tina and Letty, if you want to let me know how it's going.
I think we're okay. Give some people some time to record videos. I think they're also at the same time trying to watch the governor's thing, so maybe we can stall for a sec.
That works. I'm gonna give a pause.
So if you want to make a video, make a video. If you want to check into status of how things are going, you can. As far as I know, just a really quick FYI update. Schools are closed for the rest of the year, apparently. So that's cool.
Okay, so if you wanna, we're gonna leave our board open and you guys can play along with us as we go. I wanna share a few other key things about Flipgrid. So we'd love to see your faces. We'd love for you to be a part of it. I'm gonna jump back into my grid as an educator. So there, as you can see, you can add in a lot of topics. I'm gonna go back to my language arts one. Before I jump in there, I want to show you that you have these actions as well. So notice here, when I click view as an educator, that's how I was able to see it as a student, and I could add in my own topics in there. This green icon over here of active, this is really cool. You can build a bunch of topics and you can hide them. So if you want to get planning or you want to map things out, you can build a bunch of topics and you can hide it and release it later. So you can see that that one's hidden. Maybe I want to freeze my math one. Maybe the reason I froze my math one is because I don't want any more responses to it. So when you freeze a grid, that means that you no longer can respond to it, but the board is still there. So it hasn't gone away. When I have hidden a topic, that means that the topic is built. I just haven't released it and made it active for my students to participate in it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one back to active and I'm going to unfreeze this one. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm going to change it back to active. Over here, you can rotate the order. So I'm going to grab this topic and I'm going to move it to the top. So that's the very first thing that I want you guys to see when you open up as a student, the topic. And then to make it a little light, I'm going to jump into joke of the day. While I'm at joke of the day, Then I can have my language arts and my math. Also here, I can choose share. So as I was saying earlier, you can share just specific boards, or specific topics. So notice here, I'm just going to share my topic for my language arts. Down here, I don't have guest mode turned on all of these, but I can come in here and I can do that. So if I choose share, I can turn my guest topic back on so that every single one of my boards has that topic in there. Okay. The other thing that we have, if I come back here to my language arts board, is we have all of these actions that we can do. So I can edit my topic. I can add a guest topic in. I can add it to my Disco library. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. I can actually hide that topic. I can move it. I can duplicate it. I can export the data, or I could delete it altogether. So you have several options here of what you can do with that. If I go back here and I choose to edit my topic, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to edit it. I want to delete this focus here. Okay, I'm going to delete the focus of that topic. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to choose record a video. So many times when you're doing this, the very first time it's going to ask for you to allow to use your camera and your microphone. Do I need to pause? Okay, so I'm going to say allow. What's going to happen here is now I can make this video. I could read a book. I could be showing on my phone or my iPad what I want my students to do. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to record. Hello, everybody. It's Miss Minicucci. I'm so excited to see you all. I miss your smiling faces. Today I'm going to read a story to you about where the wild things are. I hope you're as excited as I am. This is one of my favorite books. So get ready, get comfy, get that book, and let the reading begin. So I'm going to stop that, and same thing applies as I would make that video. I can go back and I can listen to it. And then what's going to happen is I can take that selfie. So I'm going to take my photo again. Here's my photo, and I'm going to choose next. If I don't like my selfie, I can do a do-over. Also know where your camera is. I have my Flipgrid shirt on for y'all today, so I'm going to take my photo. I'm going to choose next. And I'm not going to close my window like it's telling me. And it's going to load my video. So now I become that video in the topic. Instead of that cool animated GIF, I'm the one there giving the directions, and I'm talking directly to my kids. So when I come back here, I can update my topic. And now my students have a video to watch of me, and they'll know by this little play button that in my topic, I can give those directions and I can add everything I need to do. Yay, look, we have some friends playing along in language arts. So exciting. Very cool. So while we're there, you can see that these guys have added into our grid. Ladies, do either one of you give me permission that I can show what it looks like from a teacher's side? Or I can go back and...
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who was that?
Maria Luz Marin.
Perfect. So I'm going to click on Maria's, and I'm going to open it up.
So don't be afraid.
So here she is. She's making us a video. So this is what you see as an educator, which I love. I'm going to back her video up here. Okay. So I can give her a video response reply, and I can make a video back to her. So I can give her individual feedback and reply back to her. In normal circumstances, you have a grading rubric here, which we're not really recommending. You can give her video from 1 to 5 for her ideas, and you can give the video from 1 to 5 for performance. I can also give her private comments back. So if I wanted to give her a comment back, so I was able to type her back some feedback, And then I could either email or I can copy the feedback link and share that link directly to her. But if I wanted to give her some feedback, here I can make and record a video for her. So I can tell her it's going to count me in again. Hello, I'm so excited to see you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Flipgrid. What a great video. So when I do that and I click next, hello, I'm so excited. I'm going to choose next again. Again, I'm going to take my selfie. And then I can add in all my cool pictures there again. And I'm going to upload and submit my video. So now that she's got that, she's going to have some feedback for me. Whoop. So when I close out of this and I go back, hi Gary, you've joined it. When I go back to my remote learning grid and I look at my language arts and I view it as a student, I can see here with my head up here on the top that I gave her feedback. So you guys, the three of you who guys made a video, you can respond back to each other. So our students can click on videos and respond back. So if I'm a student and I choose Leisha, I'm not going to play yours, I'm just going to click on it. I could come in here and I, as a student, can respond back to her. So this is how our students can respond back to each other and talk to each other. Okay? If I go back to my grid, let's see, check our time. This is one thing that's important. So notice I have all of these. I'm going to jump in my say hello, and I can see that folks have responded and said hello. I love it. Thanks for playing along. Very cool. So I can always go in here as a teacher, but I can also go back to my grid and look at my topics as a student. So if I view this one as a student, I can see my instant responses and see who's playing along, which I love. Then I can go back up here to the top and I can change topics. So I can see in language arts, there's 5 videos. I can see that somebody played along in math. I can see that somebody told me a joke and joke of the day, which is a lot of fun. I love it. Thanks for playing along with us. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to show you where there's some pre-made stuff. I'm going to skip mixtapes and grid pals for a moment and I'm going to go to my disco library. In my disco library, this is awesome, and Flipgrid has been amazing about this. Here are tons and tons and tons of grids that folks from all over the world have already made. And they've also connected with some different resources. So Breakout EDU, the World War II Museum, we have Nearpod, we have Hacking STEM. All of these folks have already made grids and topics for all of our students. They have everything created for you. They always have a Flipgrid weekly hits, which is amazing. So I think I may have gone too fast. I'm going to show you where I'm at. So if you're back here at your educator dashboard, and we were at my grids, I'm going to jump over here to what is called Disco Library. This allows for me to see all of these amazing topics and discos that have already been done. Okay, so here, notice in our topics, we have this many already in this library. I can choose my audience, which I love, which is from, and they have it categorized. So you have everyone all the way down to parent and family. So if I were to choose middle school, I could go over here to a subject and say I want digital citizenship, and then I can search that topic. So if I wanted something specific in there, or if I just wanted, I wanted this one about digital footprint, okay? I could pull that up and I could pull that topic and be able to see about it already, all right? Over here on the side, it's gonna tell you how many times it was used, how much engagement is going on, and whether it's a favorite. So if I just wanted to choose something else for middle school, or I'm going to go back here and I'm going to choose everybody, and I'm going to change that, and I'm just going to search. It's going to show me how much things have been used, family fun, stay connected. It's going to pull everything up for me so that I'm able to see what's going on and how long and what people have been doing. Okay, once I find one that I like, so I'm just going to go up here to our, I'm going to do this emoji book talk one. I'm going to choose that one. So Jennifer has kindly shared this one with everybody. She set it up for our high school students. Once I've chosen one of these, I can select a grid. Since I have all of these grids that I have built, I'm going to choose my remote learning grid. I'm going to add that topic to my grid. So now once I've added that to my grid, I have full reign that I can come in here and I can edit this. I can use what they've shared and I can make it my own. But I can take what they've already created and add it in. Okay? Notice down here, you can see that since this is a pre-made one, I can come in here and I can change some of my ideas here. So if I want my students to be able, if I feel that they've overdone the selfies, I can change this where that they can only send me back videos, or I only want a selfie on it. Okay, I can choose how I want them to respond. I can allow for them to edit their video, rearrange their clip. I can have them give me a video title. And I can, this is important, I kind of like this view count. Makes it kind of nice to see how many times people have watched the video. I always like to leave on the students being able to have a sticky note on there to help them organize and track. And then I'd like to leave on the attachment link. You can also turn this on to allow our students to like each other's video. So there's a cool emoji with a mic drop on it that our students can go in and they can kind of like each other's videos. Then this is yours where you can give feedback. So if I'm happy with where things are at, I can go ahead and I can update this topic and I can add it to my grid. Okay, so if I go back to my remote learning, I've now added in an additional topic. All right, we are at 30 minutes left, so I'm going to give you guys some time to play, to jump in, and to ask questions. I'm going to pause for a minute to see if anybody wants to, if anybody has any questions.
Okay, Janae, help me wrap my mind around this. If you're reading a book, how would it be that you would flip it around? Because we are realizing, even on YouTube, on certain things, that when you read a book and the camera ends up flipping it backward.
Oh, it's showing it in reverse.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on that, guy? My first thought is to do it on YouTube, maybe? I don't, that's a good one.
So you can, they just also found a workaround that you can read it on YouTube. So if you have, I would suggest if you have a smartphone to maybe try to record yourself so it's playing the correct way. If not, maybe handing, while you're recording the video, I don't know, let's see. I don't have a book with me, pretty sad.
If you look in the ELA one, go to the, where's the topic you made for EL language arts? I totally tried it to see because someone asked, and it does look like it's backwards, I think, but I don't know if it'll work.
Okay, let me look here.
On your phone.
Read the.
Me in the corner reading a random book from my office.
I had to read this book I found in my office about the Children's Party Handbook.
It is.
If you're stuck at home and can't even have a party, let's learn how to do one anyway. You can make something out of socks. These pictures are amazing because they're like.
So yeah, it is. I think we're just gonna have to go with it. What I would suggest is maybe while you're showing the students, maybe you could take a few screenshots and send them some images of the book. But I think more importantly right now, especially for our younger ones, it's important that they just actually get to hear you read. So maybe I would read the story, and then for our preschool through 5th grade, you know how we do a read aloud and then we kind of model and show the picture. Maybe on the video you read and then you kind of hold the book up so that they can see what you have read. I would think that that might be a workaround for it. Anybody who's on our chat have any thoughts that they might want to share? I know I'm using my computer and recording on my computer, so my current camera does not give me the option to flip the camera around. I will find the link. If you email us at edtech.aps.edu, I can send you the link to the workaround that 2 folks have done, Joe and his wife, Muriel, about how you can embed your YouTube videos in here. So I will share that, because if you follow Flipgrid on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, they are also hosting live webinars. They have a bunch this weekend that they're offering. You just need to download the Microsoft Teams app that they're showing all of these additional things. If you go to the Flipgrid homepage, let me find which one I have. I'm going to close some of these. If you come here and you go to resources, they have incredible resources. Down here, these guys are offering live webinars all weekend, but also if you go to their Getting Started guide, they have a guide for the remote learning. They also have some videos, and then they have a great educator's step-by-step guide for you to be able to work through Flipgrid piece by piece, so that it gives you some ideas and some topics. Let us figure out how to best do the book reading, and we will get back to you guys on that one. And then there's free Flipgrid overview webinars at any time. You can click on that. And then here's a great getting started step-by-step guide. I will also make sure that our department links this guide. Let me find it here. This educator's guide PDF to our website. So I have a huge PDF. It's 41 pages. That gives you anything and everything about using Flipgrid. So I will make sure that this goes up on our website so that you all have that to be able to follow along and be a part of. Any other burning questions? Really, you can't mess up Flipgrid. It's all a matter of going in there. The big things are making sure you're sharing the correct codes. So just as a review, here is my grid. My grid is my overarching housing place of where all of my topics will be contained. So this code up here gets me into my grid. When I come down here, these are my topics. Every topic has its own code. So if I just want to share that code for the Emojis Book Talk, I can share this one, but I can also turn on the guest mode. If you're going to do guest mode for all of it, I would suggest going in and adding in that guest mode topic for everybody. If I come back up here to my edit, notice again, I can change and edit anything that's in here. The one thing I would for sure change, if you're not into getting all of the emails, I would definitely just turn off never, and then just make it to never so that I don't get all of the emails, because I'm sure my email is going to be blown up after all of this is done. And I can go in there and change that. And then I'm going to say update my grid. And then that way I'm not getting stuff in from my grids that are going on here. Any other questions or concerns? Tina, Leticia, and I are gonna be here. I will say that this.
Janine, can you go into the? Are you on the student view on any of those up there anywhere?
Yes.
I'm doing mine on an iPad, and I'm going back. How do you go from this screen back to the home screen?
On your iPad?
No, on the desktop.
Oh, back to your teacher view.
Back to the main grid. Like if you're.
Oh, okay. So like back to this one, like mine.
Yeah.
So you can go back to my Flipgrid on the three dots on the top, and it'll bring me back to log in here again. Is that what you're asking?
I think so. I think I gave the wrong info because I talked about it on an iPad, so I'm going to make sure I did it right on that one.
Okay, so if I was in my student view, here I am as my student view. Okay, so there's a couple things you can do. I can switch my topics here to go back to my topics. On a desktop, you're going to want to jump back to your educator's grid. On an iPad, it's going to look a little bit different. Usually there's something in the right-hand corner. Hold on. That will take you back to your topics. So if I'm in my remote learning has a student, let me tell you how you're going to get back. Yeah, you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to jump back into the three dots. You should see three dots in the right. And you want to go back to your educator login, because that's going to bring you back to take you out of your student view and bring you back to your view as an educator. So you're going to go back to your educator login. It might ask you to just log back in. If not, it knows you're already logged in, and it should bring you right back to your grid.
Okay. Question for, is my mic on?
Yes, you're on.
For younger kids and special ed students, do you recommend using Seesaw and Flipgrid or embedding Flipgrid into Seesaw?
Yes to both. I would, you can, either way, they're gonna pull up as separate platforms. For younger kiddos, depending on what you're asking them to do, like preschool through first grade, it might be easier to just stick with Seesaw because they can make a video in Seesaw. If you're only wanting video responses, or if you want a safe way for them to connect and talk to each other, I would say to use Flipgrid. So it's really dependent on what your product is and what your outcome is, but I would say for special ed and our younger kiddos, Flipgrid works, and Seesaw, they both work hand in hand. It just depends on how much you want them to be able to log in and out of. I know that was not a very clear answer, but I know that's a good starting point for them.
Okay.
It's easier for our special ed kids and our, depending on their needs and where they're at, to have them join Flipgrid in guest mode, because then there's not a login required.
Do you think you should give the students the topic codes and not the grid codes, or would it be better to give them the grid codes? My gut says if you're going to be building everything to share out, I'd probably give the grid code so they can just accept the topics when they come up. But I figured you'd agree with me. You want to put on your special ed hat and kind of brainstorm a couple ideas for that, number one. And number two, uploading other videos. You can upload other videos, correct? Or do you think there should be a link to some other platform for videos?
No, you can upload it. You can upload other videos. So if I'm here, let me go back here, has a view. So if I am here and I want to add a response here, I'm gonna log in back with my Google account. I'm gonna choose my name. Sorry, I am recording at my dad's office. I'm hoping y'all aren't hearing all of this. Right here, this little button that says upload. I can choose upload. And so I'm going, oops, hold on. I was going to try to move my screen over a little bit, and I'm going to go to a soccer video. And let me see if I have one of my own child. So I'm actually grabbing the correct kid. So you can choose any video here. And I'm going to grab this video of my kid. I was making her upload stuff. I'm not sure why we can't see it, but you can drop a video in here and add, and then you choose next. I could take the selfie again and add it in there, and hopefully it shows of my child. So you can upload videos that you've already made. You can pull videos that you have on your desktop, or you can link to other videos. And then when I choose submit, hopefully my video is there. So in theory, you could see my kiddo kicking the ball, but it came out black. I'm not sure why. And then you as an educator, you can go in and you can delete videos out of there if you feel it's an inappropriate one. So if I go back to my educator dashboard and I look here, and here's the one, I can hide this response so that nobody else can see it. So if I go back to the view, let me refresh. You can see that I still have that video, but that response is hidden. So that's another option for folks to see that. So we are down to 20 minutes. Questions?
Do teachers see student responses before other students see it? Like, could you set up an approval or show what a response looks like?
No, once it's posted to the board, you don't have it's live. So it's not like you can approve like it is in Seesaw.
I thought I had a blog on how you could make something
I
about
think
it. It's harder
let me
to
see here.
do normal. It's harder to do than normal.
Yeah, it's more involved. Let me go in here and edit my board. I guess, yes, you can. So if I come in here and I edit my grid, this one, yes, you can video under your topic status, you can be the moderator. So you can, when you turn that on, so again, back under your topic, when you're editing it, if you come down here, you can moderate, you can have them hidden until you release them. So students can give all of their replies. If you turn this mode on, then I can't see any of the videos until I release them. So let me show you where that was again. I update my topic. So I'm here in my topic and I go to the pencil to edit my topic. I'm going to go all the way down here to topic status, and I'm going to choose video moderation. Okay, so I'm going to be the moderator, and I'm going to hide my videos until I approve it. Okay, and then you just update your topic. And now, if I go back to my grid, and I go to remote learning, and I view it as a student. Okay, these guys have already posted them because they did it before. But if somebody new was to make a topic and add it in there, then it's going to not, I'm not going to see the videos until I approve it as a teacher. So, okay, and you'll notice here, the ones that you're moderating, it's adding this little hand in there. So that alerts you that that topic, you are in charge of releasing the videos so that when people can and cannot see it. Okay, questions? I know people are probably, we all probably just got a call from APS. Things are being blown up right now with the governor.
Hey, we're gonna figure out, there's a chat, and I know a lot of people have questions about the parent permissions to use all of these. There should be one that is covering everything, like Seesaw, Flipgrid, Google Classroom. I think we're trying to figure out a way to do this digitally, and if it can legally count, if we created sort of like a parent survey or sort of like a Google form or something, as long as it collects email address. I don't know. We're trying to figure out a way to do that. So hopefully that information will be coming soon. I'm pretty sure we all have quote unquote off over spring break. So hopefully we can figure that out, but try not to stress out too much, and let's attempt to have a little bit of a time of a break. But we'll get on top of that for you guys to make sure that permission is required. I know that there are some situations with people using certain tools that don't have the necessary privacy options or features that other tools have. So just be mindful of that. But one of the reasons we are sharing Seesaw, Flipgrid, Google tools, Apple tools, those types of things is because we know and we have vetted and kind of looked at how they do handle student data and how they have things. And so they're doing a very good job of trying to make sure that they cover that. That being said, with Flipgrid, we know there's a lot of students who don't have consent to record. We've gotten around that in Flipgrid by students either using the pixelated version. Some students have been able to participate and talk, but use kind of like a paper slideshow, and they'll put papers up in front. So those are some ways around that too. But I think the teacher usually tries to create guidelines for Flipgrid and using it appropriately. The concern is the image of the student as personal data. They do make sure that the data and stuff is kept by the teacher and isn't collected by the other parties, is what I was trying to say. And I think we're trying to work on, with what Erin says, guidelines for videos and guidelines for using software and permissions and those types of things, because we do feel that's really important. So, sorry, Janae, I was trying to cover like 6 questions.
No, we're good, because with the news that just happened, I know we have a lot of questions and stuff. Things will be coming. The district is working on stuff. Well, the district is working on a plan to turn into the PED. But we do appreciate you guys joining our Flipgrid. We have 10 minutes left. I really hope you take some time to play with Flipgrid. It's really a game changer in many classrooms. It's a great way to see those kiddos' faces, help some of them maybe have some closure now with the news that the school year has been changed. Please know we are available. We can be reached at edtech@aps.edu. We will be working as fast as we can to answer questions. We are a small team in the district. There are 3 resource teachers, myself, Tina, and Leticia. And then we also have our systems admin team, which there are 3 of them. And then we have our director and our executive director. So we are a team of 8. So yeah, 8 had to count for a minute, trying to help everybody. So we will respond and help as soon and as fast as we can. So I hope you have a baseline understanding. Another cool feature, while we just have a couple minutes, is called Grid Pals. Grid Pals is really cool. I am an active educator on that. And what it does is you see all these cool green dots all over the map. This allows for you to see and connect with classrooms all over the world. So all of these folks that you see the little green dots from, let me zoom out a little bit. These are all of the people in the United States who have Flipgrid accounts and who are willing and active participants to be able to essentially make virtual pen pals.
It's going up a lot more than there used to be.
Yes, like you can see that it is just covered. So this is something you don't have to do, but it's totally and completely optional. But notice my thing is kind of on a delay, but you can see the United States, but usually there's, there we go. You can see that Flipgrids are set up all over, and then you can kind of search, and these folks are, they'll tell you the subjects and the grade levels and where they are, and how you can connect. So if you're wanting to do some kind of virtual connection, you can search by grade level. You can see how many people are here, over 20,000 Grid Pals are on the map. You can search by grade level, by subject, and then you can search for Grid Pals and see how you can connect with those folks. So, and you can notice here that Bonnie made a cool guide to give you. So that is one thing about Flipgrid. They have an abundance of information and resources. Like I said, follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. They are posting stuff constantly. I do know that there's a webinar. Webinars are being offered this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, as well as Monday and Tuesday. I saw that they tweeted it out. So please know that not only do you have a resource with us, but you have a resource with them directly.
And we are at EdTech at aps.edu. And if you do have an idea for other webinars or other things, or something like that, could you go ahead and yeah, I was just going to say that. If you could email us at edtech@aps.edu, give us some ideas on what you would like more webinars on, or things that you feel would be helpful for you, and we will get on that as best we can. I don't know when we're going to send out notifications for the next webinars. I think we're going to talk about that collectively soon. And if you aren't getting EdTech today, on your emails, because that's usually where we send out a lot of the information. Also email us at edtech@aps.edu to let us know. For other schools and other districts, we are going to keep that site open, and I think we're going to configure it where we'll have a space for webinars and things, and we'll be posting and putting the codes and also the videos there. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Anyone going to back me up?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, I got you. Sorry. We are being blown up on all fronts. No, my computer was going to die. Sorry, I was trying to find my power cord. I appreciate you all for coming. Our team appreciates everybody for joining us. Please take some time to jump in and learn. Another thing I wanted to share, notice here, there is a little airplane here. These are the ones that I have a co-pilot who's people are co-teaching in the grid with me. So there's also cool ways, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but you can also do virtual hunts through these. So they're called the Flip Hunt. Definitely check those out, but I would start something simple, something lighthearted. Just a great way to have a visual to connect with your class, to be a part of it. We have now shown Google Classroom, Flipgrid, and Seesaw. We know that there's supports on all three of those, and choose the platform that is best for you. You can use a combination of one or two. I would, rule of thumb, I would try not to overwhelm families with a ton of brand new technology. Maybe start with one platform, get them comfortable and working in that, and then maybe add in something new. So.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We have 5 minutes left. Tina, Leticia, and I will hang in here for questions. It sounds like we had a big group here. So if there's questions, something totally burning question, we'll be here for questions. So we appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us.